भारतीय आपको पता है बहुत ज्यादा भावुक होते हैं. दिस प्रोफाइल गिव्स मी लॉट ऑफ फ्लेक्सिबिलिटीज, लॉट ऑफ अपॉर्चुनिटीज in terms of understanding the different and vibrant and dynamic requirement of stakeholders. While using digital technological tools, while using data, we should be equipped with bare minimum requirement of information security or data security. Success means growth along with ethics. Prachin history, it has been also said that sarve bhavantu sukhya and sarve bhavantu nirame. It means quality is inherent in our nature. Leadership means to me is effective management of 6M. When I say 6M, it means man, machine, material, method, measurement and mother environment. According to me, a leader should be a leader who can create leaders down the level. जीवन में विपरीत परिस्थितियां आएंगी, दर्द रहेंगे, ये आप पे निर्भर है कि आप उससे कितना लड़ सकते हैं. अगर आप उससे लड़ पाए तो आप अपने लक्ष्यों को प्राप्त कर सकते हैं.
I am your host Gaurav Garg and we welcome all our viewers to our show Amazing Mentor. Today with us is Mr. C.S. Sharma. He is Joint Director and Head PMU in Quality Council of India. Coming from a background of electronic and communication engineering, he is an MBA in finance. With over 2 decades of diverse experience in third-party certification, accreditation, total quality management, lean management, international cyber law, skill training, etc. Mr. Sharma is qualified lead assessor for a variety of management systems. He oversaw the world's largest personal credentialing program for the Indian Air Force, as well as Asia's first accredited certification for the National Accreditation Board of Education and Training. Presently, Mr. Sharma is managing various conformity assignment schemes and programs at QCI, such as Cybersecurity Framework for Critical Information Infrastructure, drone certification and others. It's a pleasure to welcome Mr. C.S. Sharma to our show, Amazing Mentor. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Tell us about your childhood and any memory that you would like to share from your childhood.
As far as my childhood is concerned, I would say that was one of the best memory as an asset I could tell you. I was blessed with all the support from my family members. Whatever the wishes as far as my childhood were concerned, those were fulfilled by my parents. And I was good in academics as well. Simply, I would say that my childhood is the best phase of my life, where I could learn, where I could enjoy, and I could enjoy with all my relatives, family members, as well as my supporters. There are a lot of moments, happiest moments are from my childhood only.
So any particular moment you would like to share?
Particular moment, I remember that I was aiming for my 10th examination, and I discussed with my father, and my father told me that if you can perform well and if you can score a good rank, then I will procure you a bicycle. And I told him that I would like to have a bicycle with gears. So at that time that was quite costly as well as quite scarcity in the market. So got a good result in the examination. And after a lot of efforts of 6 months, my father arranged me for that bicycle. That was a Hero Ranger bicycle. So that was one of the happiest moments of my life. And I was on the 7th sky on that particular day.
So what about your educational background, schooling and higher education?
So as far as my entire education journey is concerned, I did my schooling from a small city in Rajasthan named as Sikar, and I got that opportunity in Hindi medium school where I could completed my secondary examination as well as senior secondary examination. Then as decided and as guided by my father, I decided to take a dropout of 1 year where I could prepare myself for entrance examinations for engineering. I appeared in those examinations. I could secure a good rank. Then I got a chance to get a study in one of the good colleges in Rajasthan, that is Engineering College Kota. I did my engineering graduation from Engineering College Kota. Then I tried for civil services as well, where I appeared pre-examination as well as main examination of civil services. I got a chance where I could appear in the interview of civil service examination. Unfortunately, I could not succeed there. My subjects were physics and philosophy, both have different origins. So that was the entire journey before I got engaged in formal journey of my professional life. I could keep preparing on those aspects in that time also. And then I joined a private manufacturing company for some time. I also tried to open one coaching center because at that time Kota was also emerging as a good coaching hub for education sectors. So I tried for that coaching center also, where I could gain a lot of, I would say, inputs in terms of students. In terms of financial values, that coaching center was doing good, but I thought that that is not my key role. I have to move somewhere else as per my aspirations. Then I moved to the private sector. So that was my entire academic journey.
So, what was your professional dream as a child?
In my childhood, I was always aspired to become a civil servant, to become an IAS officer, and I tried for that. I tried for that, and I prepared myself in that direction. But due to some unfortunate event in my personal life, I could not achieve that role in that time. But later on, I thought that that is not the entire goal of my life. I can do something else. I can do something differently, and then I can contribute accordingly.
So, who was the inspiration behind your thought that I want to be an IAS officer?
In my entire life, I got inspired from my father, who was also a government servant, and he inspired me throughout my life in my childhood. It was his inspiration only, where I decided that I have to do something for society, I have to do something for my nation, and I can do by acquiring certain role in the government in a center where I can contribute to the society. So entire inspiration was my father in the beginning, and later on when I entered in the private sector, and now in the autonomous body in the government of India, there are different people who inspired me throughout my professional career, like Shri Ashwani Vaishnav, who is the presently railway minister. So I got a lot of inputs and feedbacks from him as well during my professional engagement. Current Secretary General of Quality Council, Dr. R.P. Singh, is one of the inspiration for me as far as my entire professional journey is concerned.
So, what about your college life? Any notorious moment that you remember from your college life?
I suppose the entire first year period of college life is a remarkable and memorable asset for my life. In the beginning, there were certain challenges with respect to homesickness, and we have to prepare our own food. So there are certain challenges, but in those challenges, there were a lot of moments where we could laugh a lot. For example, there were some seniors who were calling us on certain moments to discuss something, to crack jokes, and to do something in the classroom. So I remember that at one place, an entire classroom was told to cite the table of two in a singing manner. So entire college was laughing on that particular event. So certain lighter moments were there in my education life, especially in the first year of engineering.
So, where did you started your professional journey?
After completed my engineering graduation, I decided to prepare for civil services, and I started preparation for that. At parallelly, I would also engaged in a coaching center, as I told you, and I appeared in the interview of civil service examination. At the time, this was my second attempt. At the time, there was some emergent need in my family because there was a mishap in my family. So I could not continue with this, my effort to appear in the civil services for further examinations. So I joined one private job in some manufacturing unit. And later on, I joined one multinational company, Bureau Veritas, which is a certification body and a global certification body, well-known certification body. And I worked there for around 13 years. And then again, I could got a lot of exposure in terms of different industries, sectors, and service aspects, and in terms of quality, in terms of business excellence, good practice, global best practices. I could get a lot of exposure, and then I decided that I could use this particular learning in some bigger platform, and that's how I decided that if something opportunity can be given in government sector or some autonomous body like Quality Council. So I tried for that and I could got successful role there.
So, post starting your professional journey, how was your first day in your office and what was your first task?
One thing I would like to tell you that professional life is quite different from academic life. And during my initial days, there were certain challenges because I was supposed to convert those learnings into actual execution. And again, there were certain issues with respect to technological tools, which I have to learn. For example, whether it's about MS Excel, Microsoft, MS Office, or Lotus Notes. So those were certain interventions which I was supposed to learn. So I gave entire focus on learning on those tools, and slowly I got good support from my reporting manager as well as my team members, and slowly I could attain that particular competence and comfort zone where I could perform accordingly.
What was your first task?
My first task was related to scheduling of audits. So I was given a task that in entire north region, I was supposed to schedule audits for my company. So this was a challenging task because as we understand that there are certain inherent issues with respect to Indian ecosystem and Indian culture, where we commit something and we sometimes we don't follow those commitments. There were a lot of reschedules of audits were there in the beginning, but then I decided that I could do something with respect to certain interventions. So I took a Six Sigma project on those scheduling aspects in my company, and I implemented Six Sigma. And that during the entire duration of 1 year, there were a lot of inputs with respect to data. And after implementation of that Six Sigma project, the rescheduling was reduced to 30%. So that was one of the big achievement in my initial days.
So, what were your initial challenges in adjusting yourself in the professional journey?
If I see initial challenges, I suppose in the ecosystem, there are few challenges which are quite obvious in most of the organizations, whether it's a alignment of your competence with the current profile which you have been allocated for, whatever the competence which you have got, whether that is being utilized correctly or not. And the other issues may be with respect to how effectively you are coordinating with your team members, your peers, and with your reporting officers. So I would distribute these challenges into 2-3 categories. Like one is related to human behavior or human aspect, second is related to technological implementation, and third is related to competence. So initially those were a few challenges, and I could cope up with those challenges with a systematic view, systematic approach, where I defined certain targets, I defined certain objectives and certain timelines to attain those competence requirements in terms of stakeholder engagement, in terms of emotional aspects sometimes plays a very, very important role. So a holistic 360-degree approach is required when you are inducting yourself in a professional environment. And it's not all about the case that in a single day or within 6 months or within 1 year you will become a manager. You have to learn first, you have to implement those learnings, then you will be able to do something in terms of your professional growth in your career.
So, how was the transaction from Bureau Veritas to Quality Council of India?
In my entire 13 years of career in Bureau Veritas, I would say it was one of the finest time which I have spent with BV, which is a multinational company, where I could move from pillar to post. Initially, I was scheduling audits, then I became a quality engineer, then I became lead auditor, then senior lead auditor, then I was responsible to review all technical files across South Asia region. During this tenure, I got an opportunity where I could audit lot of sectors, starting from police stations to manufacturing units to software companies to banks to power plants and even if textile industries. And I got the opportunity to audit the President House of India as well. So their learning was so enormous in terms of different sectors. So I could learn lot of practices, lot of challenges which are being faced by different industries, whether it's a government sector, private sector, or any other entity. So I decided that if I can utilize those learning which I have acquired during my professional career into some way that those learnings can come out as a solution to those industries or industry sector, so it will be fruitful for the entire ecosystem. So while this was in my mind, I decided that I should go ahead in terms of certain organization where I could utilize my learning in terms of policy formation. So I decided that if I can move to Quality Council, which is a premier body and which is an apex body in terms of quality and accreditation system in India under Ministry of Commerce, so that advantage can give me good platform or ecosystem where I could utilize my learnings in terms of policy formation. So that's how I moved from Bureau Veritas from Quality Council of India.
So, what changes did you see in the private sector and the government sector?
There are different pros and cons, I would say. There are certain positives and negatives. When we work for a private sector, that entire sector is on the basis of decisions are being taken on the basis of performance. And we are supposed to perform in a defined way. We are more accountable. in terms of our duties. There are a lot of flexibility. If you are doing good, you can be promoted further. So a lot of promotions are there in terms of private sector. A lot of opportunities are there. You can move further in your professional growth. As far as government sector is concerned, I would say paradigm shift nowadays. Now all the best practices which were there in private sector earlier, that is also replicated in government sector. Now there is a gap is being minimized in terms of private sector and government sector. Government sector also, there are a lot of expectations from government officials. They are supposed to work their with due diligence, and they are supposed to perform in an effective and efficient manner. So initially there were some gaps and there were certain challenges. The ecosystem was slightly different, but now from my current experience, I could say that now that gap is no more. And even if in government sector we are supposed to perform, if we are not performing, we cannot move further.
So, what are your roles and responsibilities and day-to-day challenges as an Joint Director, Quality Council of India?
Presently, as a joint director, I'm managing few projects. Earlier, also have managed some projects like a conformity assessment framework or schemes for government or private sector. Where are certain pain points, where are certain interventions required in terms of quality solutions. For example, right now in the field of cybersecurity, there are certain challenges with respect to cyber attacks on our critical information infrastructure. Whether we talk about power sector, whether we talk about financial sector, or even if we have heard about few cases where there are attacks on our power grid, or there are attacks on our AIMS servers. So we have to prepare ourselves in respect to cybersecurity resilience system. So Quality Council of India is taking certain projects with government authorities where those frameworks are being developed, and once those frameworks are being executed, it will be in line with best global practices, and our cybersecurity system will be aligned to those international best practices. It is one of the projects which I have dealt earlier. Right now, I'm also involved with the certification of drones. So it is very essential that whatever the drone manufacturing is there in India, it should be quality and it should be competitive in nature. Quality ecosystem allow us to create a framework for drone certification. This scheme we are running since last year, and all the manufacturers who are manufacturing drones in India, they are supposed to take this quality certification from QCI approved certification bodies. This is a mandatory requirement. So like with this, we are running a lot of schemes in terms of voluntary certification system or conformity assessment frameworks, where quality related minimum requirement need to be fulfilled by different stakeholders. And in this entire journey of development of assessment schemes or frameworks, what is the most important part where Quality Council of India plays an important role is related to stakeholder management and stakeholder engagement. We are working with ministries, we are working with the industries, we are working with consumers. So to find out a comprehensive solution which is acceptable to each and every stakeholder. So whatever the solution we are proposing, it should be scalable, it should be technically feasible, it should be financially viable, it should be scalable. In Indian context, I would add one more word, that is emotionally relatable. So हम भारतीय आपको पता है बहुत ज्यादा भावुक होते हैं. So as far as stakeholder engagement is concerned, it's a great exercise where we have to understand the stake of each and every stakeholder.
So, what was the procedure for applying for Joint Director in Quality Council of India post, and how was the feeling when you were selected for the post?
So basically, certain vacancies are being published on website, Quality Council of India's website, and there is a screening committee which scrutinizes all the applications in terms of competence requirement, in terms of experience, qualifications, and all other requirements. And that committee then selects certain candidates for interview. And after interviews are being conducted, and sometime in certain cases, some leadership role, they also ask for certain presentations or certain other activities, and a PPT need to be given in the presence of interview committee. So all those such advanced and latest, I would say, methods are being used while selecting those roles in Quality Council of India. And once I got a successful result, I was very happy. The biggest reason for my happiness that then I thought then now I can contribute something for my country.
So, what do you love about your current profile the most?
This profile gives me a lot of flexibilities, a lot of opportunities in terms of understanding the different and vibrant and dynamic requirement of stakeholders. Regulators, they have certain requirements in terms of compliances. Industry, they have certain requirements in terms of growth, business, and commercial aspect. Consumer may have different requirements in terms of customer satisfaction, in terms of their needs, expectations. So each stakeholder in this entire ecosystem has a different requirements. So I like this role that we have to map those requirements in certain way that we can find out a common solutions. So this is a very challenging but very interesting job which I am taking care of right now.
So, what's the future of cybersecurity and how would we safeguard ourselves from cybercrime?
As we understand that the entire world is moving towards this digital technology, digital revolution, and India is the largest consumer of data. India has got the largest number of UPI transactions. We have got maximum number of mobile connections. So our entire services are now slowly transforming into digital world. So I would say there are a lot of challenges in terms of cybersecurity. And in recent past, we have seen that cybercrime is also increasing exponentially. So we have to take these challenges in a structured way, in an organized way, and not only government authority has to take an important role in terms of forming policies, in terms of execution, in terms of prevention of cyber crimes, in terms of prosecution of cyber crime offenders. But also as a society, we have to create more awareness that how we can prevent these cyber crimes, whether it's about password protection, whether it's about connectivity through internet, or whether it's a use of messages for certain fake applications. So as a consumer, we have to also aware about those requirements. And I can see that a lot of competent cybersecurity professionals are also required in next coming 10 years so that India can build up a good cyber resilience system in this ecosystem.
So, according to you, what are the main reasons in which individuals are trapped under cybercrime?
So I could see that there is an inherent vulnerability in the system. For example, if you are purchasing a mobile as an Indian consumer, you will prefer that what should be the camera pixel size, what should be the other aspects in terms of battery, in terms of other features which a mobile carries. But I would say less focus on whether this mobile is equipped with virus protection or not, or whether there is an inherent control in terms of cyber security, some applications are there or not. So the awareness level is quite low, and as far as consumers are concerned, and we have to increase that awareness that yes, while using digital technological tools, while using data, we should be equipped with bare minimum requirement of information security or data security. There should be some antivirus applications installed in our laptops, desktops, or even if in our mobiles. So first, this is the prevention system. So we have to do something in respect of prevention. And once we have to prevent those our systems with respect to certain vulnerabilities, at the same time, we should be aware about those latest techniques which are being used by hackers or offenders or cybercrime professionals. And whenever we are exposed to such incidents or events or such crimes, immediately we have to inform the concerned authorities so that they can take timely actions. So time is very, very important. If we can inform them within a defined timeline, I suppose we may come up with the certain solutions.
So, who is your mentor in your professional journey?
So as far as my mentor is concerned, I understand that Dr. R.P. Singh, who is the current Secretary General of Quality Council of India, who always guide me and who has always supported me, who has given me opportunity to learn the global best practices. I have visited USA, I have visited some other countries where I have seen certain global practices with respect to quality and conformity assessment. And now I can utilize those learnings in Indian context. It's not about that copy paste of those practices in India. It's about tweak those global practices in Indian context and see that something can be done in a better way.
So, tell us about Quality Council of India and what are the responsibility and role that Quality Council of India plays.
Quality Council of India was established in 1997 through a cabinet note, and the purpose of establishment of Quality Council of India was through a cabinet committee which was formed earlier after globalization, that there should be some voluntary accreditation system in the country which can facilitate global trade. So Quality Council of India was established under Ministry of Commerce jointly by industry and government of India. It's a self-sustained organization. We are financially independent and we are autonomous in nature. Our nodal ministry is DPIIT and our chairman is appointed by Honorable Prime Minister. Our current chairman is Mr. Jagshay Shah and our Secretary General is Dr. R.P. Singh. It has got different boards to cater different domains. For example, we have board for certification bodies, we have got a board for education and training, we have got a different board for laboratories and testing entities, we have got a different board for healthcare sector, and we have got a different board for quality promotions. Other than we have got a different departments or divisions where we are supporting various ministries in terms of their activities. For example, we are part of Swachh Bharat Mission, we are part of Jal Jeevan Mission, we are supporting government in terms of other initiatives, whether it's a selection of Padma Awards or it's related to quality interventions in other sectors. So these are various aspects which Quality Council of India is contributing nowadays. So our motto is to that how far we can create a quality life for Indian citizens.
So how would you define the term success, and what is the role of hard work, smart work, and luck in achieving success?
So success for me is something in terms of growth, whether it's a professional attainment or whether it's a financial attainment or some other personal attainment, but along with ethics. So success should be a composition of growth with ethics, and any success can be attained only through hard work. Definitely there is factor of luck always, but if we do hard work and we have a defined goal, we define smarter goals into our life. Smarter means specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, time bound, and evolving. So if we define certain goals, time bound goals in our professional life, so we can attain our objectives in a timely manner. So success means growth along with ethics.
So why is quality essential according to you?
Quality is essential because in our Prachin history, it has been also said that Sarve Bhavantu Sukhya and Sarve Bhavantu Nirame. It means quality is inherent in our nature. And when we say quality is important, because in a free flow market, customer or consumer is always on the driving seat, and Mahatma Gandhi has also told that customer is God. So we have to respect the views of customer. Always it's a requirement that we have to meet the expectations and need of customer, whether it's a product or whether it's a service. We are purchasing a good quality product, it means it will be repeated for a number of times, it will be sustainable, it will be inherent with respect to certain value addition. So quality is more important in the entire ecosystem which provides you sustainability. Always we talk about cost, quality and delivery, and quality is very important for a product or service. One thing we have to understand that quality is a relative term. Quality of a Maruti Suzuki Alto and quality of a Mercedes Benz cannot be compared because both are meant for different segment of customers. I think quality is very prominent for sustainable development, which we are talking about these days. And in India recently this quality accreditation system has been rated 5 by one of the global agency. So I suppose this is a very good achievement as far as India's quality accreditation ecosystem is concerned, and we are hoping that shortly we will achieve the highest rank in that domain as well.
What's the role of technology in quality management?
Technology role is quite important in each and every sphere of our life. It's also applicable to quality because earlier days quality was related to documents, with related to processes, with related to systems. Now, as far as technology is emerging in terms of manufacturing, in terms of production, we are talking about Industry 4, we are talking about certain artificial intelligence, we are talking about Internet of Things. So similarly, quality is also emerging in terms of Quality 4, where certain related attributes can be executed and can be demonstrated through artificial intelligence or IoT or data management or data mining, and it gives us you certain factual data for decision making. So by interventions of quality, by interventions for robots or cobots or AI, quality will be more streamlined and more robust in terms of factual decision making, factual assessment. Even if we can see that the remote inspections are being conducted, remote audits are being done, and such technological tools give you a lot of flexibility in terms of saving time, in terms of costing factor, save cost. Quality is also emerging with the help of latest technological interventions, and AI is supposed to play a big role as far as the future of quality is concerned.
So what does leadership means to you, and according to you, what are the quality of a good leader?
Leadership means to me is effective management of 6M. When I say 6M, it means man, machine, material, method, measurement, and mother environment. If a person can effectively manage this 6M's, I suppose he can be attributed as a good leader. एक अच्छा leader वही होगा जो अपने नीचे leaders create करेगा. And leaders should have a courage to take accountability. It should not be a case कि if something is going good, a leader is responsible, and if something is not good, leader is not accountable. He has to take accountability of if something goes wrong. According to me, a leader should be a leader who can create leaders down the ladder.
So if you get hold of time machine, which phase of your life would you like to roll back?
Definitely, I would like to go before 21st June 1995, when I was with my father. So that was, I would say, the most happiest journey of my life. Without any question, I would like to see that phase.
So what message would you like to give to students who are going to start their first job, and what are do's and don'ts you would be suggesting to them?
So I would like to say that whenever you're planning to get some job, please be very, very clear in your mind that what competence you have, what qualification you have, and whether that job which you are applying for meeting with current competence role or not. That is the first point which I would like to advise all the newcomers. At the same time, once they are onboarded on a particular organization or in a particular company, they have to ensure that their initial focus should be on learning, because nowadays I have seen certain cases that young professionals are joining organizations and immediately think that after a duration of 1 year or 2 years, they would like to themselves as a project themselves as a manager role. So definitely yes, they can acquire that role, but before that they have to do a lot of things in terms of execution, in terms of learning, in terms of on-job training, in terms of implementation. So that is the one point I would like to advise. And the second point, that they have to be crystal clear in their future growth plans. They have to define their growth plans in an objective evidence manner, where they have to define certain timelines. If certain additional competence need to be acquired by them, they have to plan their career accordingly. And if certain trainings are required, they have to participate in those trainings. They have to take those trainings accordingly. So that it's a dynamic world, it's a volatile, uncertain, complex and ambiguous environment where technological changes are there. Technologies are changing very rapidly. So they have to keep themselves aware about all those interventions. So they should be ready always in terms of shifting their domains also, because sometimes some technology is not relevant. They have to take care of all such issues while they are planning their professional career.
So what are the advices for students who want to particularly join finance field?
As far as finance sector is concerned, I suppose whatever we are doing should be based on data, and there are latest technologies, latest applications in terms of data management. Very familiar to those approach, and one approach is which is very critical to finance sector, that is risk management. So they should have a deep dive idea about risk management, that how those financial risks can be mitigated, how those risks can be managed. So these are certain areas where they should have sound competence.
So now we'll start a rapid round. Your favorite actor and actress?
Amitabh Bachchan and Madhuri Dixit.
Your favorite color?
White.
Your favorite destination?
Udaipur.
How would you define success in one line?
Success for me is giving something back.
What would be your second choice of career?
To do something in central policy level. So I would like to see something if I can contribute as far as central government policies are concerned.
So at last, one line that defines you.
I just want to say that pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. जीवन में विपरीत परिस्थितियां आएंगी, दर्द रहेंगे, ये आप पे निर्भर है कि आप उससे कितना लड़ सकते हैं. अगर आप उससे लड़ पाए तो आप अपने लक्ष्यों को प्राप्त कर सकते हैं.
So thank you very much for your precious time and sharing your life journey on our show. Thank you very much for your time, sir.
Thank you. Namaskar.